Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live for this week's edition of the MMA Huddle. Welcome, one and all. I hope you're well, keeping safe. And first and foremost, I'll answer the most obvious question: why am I wearing a vest? Because, as Mr. the Great Derek Lewis said, my balls are hot and I'm sweating like a pedophile in a play school because it's roasting. If you're not part of the heat wave at the moment, lucky you. It's so hot. I need to wear this. Even now, I've got this door open, air coming in, and it's not happening. So I'm absolutely swell. But I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone's keeping well. Hope everyone enjoyed the fights last week. Makachev kind of put this mark on there with a submission victory. It was all in all a very entertaining card. I hope everyone got a chance to tune in to watch it. If you didn't, go back. There's some good performances. You'll enjoy it, I have to say. Love to hear what you guys all thought of it. I don't know what performances really stuck out to you. But yeah, there was. I don't know how Malcolm Gordon got a bloody win, by the way. What is that all about? How did Figueiredo lose? On your record now, Malcolm Gordon's got a UFC win and you lost to him. Figueiredo, what is that about? Man, he messed up so many parlays. It's disgusting. Legalized. How you doing, UK? So far behind in air conditioning. Well, the thing is, brother, we don't have air conditioning because we're not. It's only like this like twice a year. We get like a week's worth of heat, and that's about it. And then we get a couple of random days. It's not worth the aircon all year round. Other than that, it's absolutely roasting. Yeah, way too hot. Mate, I am. It is. Balls are on fire. It's horrendous. They are. They are designed to keep the heat in, brother. That is what they're built for. So that is why I'm in a wife beater, basically. So that's what you're getting today, guys and girls. So Miesha Tate coming back with a TKO in the third round against Renee. Perfect performance for him. The kind of comeback fight really suited really well. I thought her striking had definitely developed over the time, but as we knew, she was with one championship doing work there. She's had time to work on a lot of skills over those years, so she looked a bit smoother. Gamrot put on a hell of a performance with the early submission win. Super impressed. Rodolfo Vieira made it to the third round. Wasn't quite dying as much as he was as I thought he would be. He did well there. Overall, there was a handful of good performances. And I think, who else was there? Who was the other one performance I liked? Amanda Lemos absolutely starching Montserrat real fast. So that was a hell of a fight card there. So some good finishes, some good decisions. But overall, I enjoyed it. This card, the main event itself, Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw, you could talk about that fight on its own, like a breakdown on its own without any of the other fights. It's such a well-rounded 135 bout. You've got so much going on. That was the weirdest thing ever. I unless he's been training this and skill set, holding it in, going, I'm just going to lure everyone in to make them think I'm just jiu-jitsu and then just come out and kick ass. I don't know. I just Googled temperature in Manchester, 22 degrees. That's cold. I really suffer from it. UFC fanatic. I'm not in Manchester myself. Anything over 10 degrees Celsius is hot for me, guys. I'm a Viking. That's what my skin is. That's what I'm bred for. I'm bred for ice, snow, and sleet and cold. I'm happy in that. But this, I can't do it. Can't do it, guys. So we've got the Corey, like I say, there's not just Corey Sandhagen and TJ Dillashaw fighting Aspen lad going on against Macy Chiasson. You've got Macy Barber, Miranda Maverick. You've got Mickey Gall, Jordan Williams, which is, but Ian Heinisch is fighting Imavov. That's a handful of good fights. For me, on the fight card, my pick of the card, number 2 to the main event is Yanez against Costa. I think that's going to probably be the second best fight. That's fight of the night for me, the little dark horse fight on the card. So super stoked for that one. But like I say, we'll be breaking the fight card down as we go through. We're going to start at the bottom, work our way up as always. So let's jump into this now. On the 115 division with the ladies, we have got Diana Belbiţă. Next door I've got dogs, as you can tell. If you can hear them on the microphone, sorry about that. Is fighting Hannah Goldy. Now, I'm not overly fussed about this fight, but it's happening. Hannah Goldy, she's a UFC Instagram fighter. puts lots of posts on the Instagram thing. Aesthetically has that look, but I feel that her height is a disadvantage. Her reach or lack of reach is a huge disadvantage. I feel that she's just not got the fundamentals to really apply herself. I don't think she manages distance well. She's going to have, again, she's going to be sick. 7.5-inch reach disadvantage in this fight alone. Height-wise, 3 foot disadvantage. Now, don't get me wrong. Deanna's not the best fighter. I wasn't overly impressed in some of the moments she had in the fight. The Molly McCann fight, it was okay on the ground. She got armbarred earlier on against Joe Dewar, but I just worry about Hannah Goldy. I just think, like, the fight she had against Miranda Granger, she kept doing the same thing. She rinsed and repeated. It was a copy and paste, and she kept falling into the same movements. She kept going round in a circle, kept coming in with the strikes, getting hit and coming out, and she was always punching thin air. She was throwing the kicks and the punches, and it was just too far away. I feel like she can't manage range very well. She comes over with the overhand. She tries to close distance, doesn't quite use the footwork well. I'm a bit stuck with Hannah. I feel like she needs to maybe use a bit of the grappling here to kind of grind out a result if she's going to get the result she needs. I'm a bit stuck with Hannah Goldy on this one. I think that you might see Deanna actually get a win because Hannah Goldy, she's come back. She had the shoulder surgery, I think it was. She had surgery on there. She got the all clear. She's obviously back fighting again, but I'm not overly confident in what we're going to see from her in this fight performance, honestly. I'm definitely, let me just move this out of the way. I forgot I got my phone on silent. I knew I was going to mess up somewhere, and it was nearly there. So, yeah, I just don't feel like she as a performer is going to get this W. So I'm definitely going on the side of things, Deanna there. We're going to go up now in the women's division, up to the 125-pound division. So we've got Sijara Eubanks. She's facing a change of opponent. Elias Reed, or Elisa Reed, I believe it's probably Elisa Reed. She was meant to fight Priscilla Cocorera, but that fight got changed. Either way, Sijara Eubanks, 135 down at 125 again. So there's a couple of question marks on this. Big asterisk is, can she make 125? That is something I'm worried about. Seeing her cutting down that weight, she's on paper, I believe it's 125. Yeah, it's down as 125. I don't know what she's going to. I don't know how good she is at cutting down a 125 these days. 127 when she did it in 2018. 3 years later, I don't know why and how she's getting this fight, but I think it's a very big one. Yeah, Goldy's super stiff. Yeah, it would be nice seeing Deanna get her first W versus an opponent with a winning record. yeah, Deanna. Yeah, Goldy's just she's just not. I think she needs more hours under the pads, more hours in the drilling, and get more fluidity on her because, like I say, bro, she's stiff. Her back, she's just so contort. It doesn't look good. Reed coming in, like you said, late replacement. Overall, a record on CFFSC, she's done really well. She went 3 rounds, so she's got decision wins. She's won with strikes. Her striking actually isn't too bad in the fight game. She's got some decent strikes and decent hands on her. But I think I don't think Eubanks will probably make 125. And the size is going to be ridiculous because Reed fights at 115. And even lower than that. I believe she's fought down at 105, if I recall right. Is she fought down at 105 before? She's fought down at 115, definitely. So she's not exactly atom weight. Yeah, she's fought down at 105 in 2019. So a couple of years later, that's a huge difference in weight class. Eubanks' cardio was bad at 135 now, 125. That's where Eubanks finish early or gas out. Yeah. Basically, it's Sijara versus Scales. It really is. I think Reed's going to be hugely oversized. I think Sijara Eubanks is just going to overpower with grappling and just really control that fight in that aspect. I don't know how much of the hand speed and power is going to transfer for Reed going up to 125 because when Eubanks puts the weight on after the weigh-ins as well, you're going to see a huge gulf and a huge size and strength difference there between the two of them. So I'm kind of heavy on Eubanks here. I think she's just purely on a size basis, she'll be able to outmuscle her. I think Reed's going to have a really horrible time with it. That being said, she could gas and Reed gets a little second wind and then kicks her ass. I'm not writing her off completely. I just don't see it happening, even though I can't put all my faith in her. Hey, bro, how's it going, Thomas? How you doing? I hope you're doing well, my brother. It's good to have you on board while I'm doing the live stream. Yeah, like I say, I'm going to go with Sijara Eubanks there. We're going to go over now to the 135. We've got Andre Ewell against Julio Arce. Now, if you don't think that's a good 135 fight, I think you're going to be surprised. The guy's not in the top. Neither guys are really making big waves in the top 15, but on the outside, you've got Julio Arce. He is game for a fight, man. He is fantastic. Like, that's a Shaman Moraes fight that he had. He lost the decision, don't get me wrong, at featherweight, but he looked fantastic in that one. Then he's had wins at 145, and now he's going for this bantamweight fight, bantamweight debut, I believe it is. Is it Julio Arce's debut at 135? I think it is. Yeah, because he's fought down at one on the UFC anyway. He might have done it on the regional scenes. Julio Arce was a pretty tough opponent to fight at 145. I think Andre Ewell in this one, he's going to come up against a guy who's tough, gritty, and grinds out wins, and he's going to have pop in his hands as well. Andre Ewell, you saw the head kick finish out against Julian Rosa. He can get the submission wins against Tamer. The dude, he's also got a win against Danny Ige, which is, on paper, which is fantastic to see. Andre Ewell, for me, is very hit and miss. I know he's lost to Nathaniel Wood, Marlon Vera, Chris Gutierrez, decision loss. He can grind. He's had a couple of split decision wins. He's not making the fights clean cut. He's not getting the wins in the UFC with decisiveness. I'm going to go on the basis that Julio Arce makes weight. He's not going to kill himself making the weight. That's the big thing. We don't know what kind of weight cut Julio Arce is making. We don't know what he looked like. He might have been doing a lot of work in the background to prep for this, because you've got to look, his last fight was 2019 against Hakeem Dadoui, which, split decision again. But if you look at that basis alone, that's 2 years-ish, just under 2 years. He's had a bit of time to cut the body weight, get the cardio in, strip himself to 135. He might feel better at it. He might feel stronger, faster. He might feel better all around. I'm basing the fact that I've never seen him at this weight class. He makes weight fine. We can't go off what ifs. So I want to go on the basis everything's good. Julio Arce, for me, he'll probably go through Andre Ewell's punch. Andre's going to try and keep on the end of the punches, I believe. I think you'll see Julio Arce kind of just go through them, just walk through those strikes, really close that distance, start making the striking happen to get a clinch game, get a fight to the ground, maybe try and ground and pound Andre Ewell out, because you've seen it before. If he gets to the ground on his back, he has a bit of difficulty. He doesn't like getting people on top of him. Julio Arce, on the grappling side of things, I thought he's looked pretty slick in some fights that he's had. I've got to go Andre Ewell all day long. So we're going to go on to the next fight now, which is, for me, on paper, the fight of the night. That's not the main event, is Yanez against Costa. Now, if you do not like either one of these dudes, like Randy Costa, for me, I thought was a bit cocksure of himself when I first watching him compete. But I've come around after his kind of early thrust into the UFC when he lost to Brandon Davis. He only had he was only 3-0 when he got a debut. I've come around to see he has got some abilities. He has got some potential. Boston Salmon win. Don't get me wrong, Boston Salmon as well at the time was a 5-2. He's got to win. He got that fight through. Jordy Newson as well was another one who wasn't going to make waves in the UFC, but they got the W for Randy Costa. He's got something about the UFC that they like about him, so they got him the good wins, they got him the good fights. But he's fighting a dude in me who's got crazy amount of confidence, slick striking, nice power in his hands, and he's confident, like Costa a little bit. With Costa, though, Costa's not fought for about, nearly 10 months or so. Yanez just fought recently. That stop against Lopez with that punch dropping him, it was beautiful to see. I love the prospect versus prospect matchup here. It's insane. The pair of them as well, like you said, bro, prospect side of things, you could take the pair of them and put them on their own little courses to get them up to the higher echelons and build them up, but they're just sticking them straight against each other. It's going to be an insanely good match. You're going to see how Randy Costa does, because I think Randy's maybe going to have a difficult time with a guy who's can take a hit, strike back with vengeance, and go for 3 rounds. Yanez has got a good, hard 3 rounds of striking and competing in him. So I really feel that dog should shut the fuck up, if you can hear it. But for me, Yanez here, I like his confidence in striking, man. I think that Randy Costa, that Brendan Davis fight, you start to see there was holes there. Definitely, maybe it was UFC debut, not jitters, but energy dump, the kind of efficiency just kind of felt like he gassed out. But I feel that, with Yanez here, you're definitely going to get a beautiful performance. Dude's super confident. I like this kid a lot. I think he's got a hell of a ceiling. So I am quite confident in seeing Yanez here to put on a hell of a performance and see what he can do for us. Christian, how are you doing? Any comment on Prediction Guru getting exposed? Christian, very good one. I wasn't going to, you know what, I kind of forgot. I actually watched the video last week and then forgot all about it, if I'm honest. I watched it during last week. So I will give my 2 cents on this one. So with the Prediction Guru, if anyone doesn't know, there's a guy called MMA Prediction Guru. He's got, I think, about 12,000 followers on YouTube. The guy, what he does, it's an algorithmic thing. YouTube is about algorithm. Like, I haven't even mentioned it yet, but if you're free to hit the like button, please do subscribe to the channel and also comment and let us know what your picks are. So that's an algorithm. YouTube is based on algorithms. The more likes it gets, the more comments it gets, the more it hits people. It goes onto people's walls and feeds and etc. So what he's done is, yes, shut your dog up. So what he's done here for Guru is he's obviously found that, because I've seen videos on there saying, ways to increase your subscribers. I've watched the videos myself because I thought, what ways can you do to get? There's other ways to get your subscribers up, but that was one way I saw. So what he's done is he created a plethora of fake profiles, commented on his own streams. He made himself out like he was talking as a third person, and then he also did a competition, I believe, which was a dick move, and said he paid someone like money for that, which is disgusting to see. It was a dick move to do. Made out like someone won a competition, but there was no win. There was no prize money because no one won it. He's obviously not commenting about it. A lot of people have been blocked because they've been sharing the videos. Moyes Audio, he's the boy. I love man. Up Moyes. He popped that video out there for everyone to see. But he's messaged us a couple of times to come onto the podcast. He wanted to come on a podcast to talk about fights. I was a bit unsure at first because I felt like he's a little bit pushy and the way he was messaging. So we never got him on, which in hindsight worked out quite well. But yeah, I feel like he also creates fake profiles that he has where he goes onto other people's channels and puts negative connotations onto the channel, negative words, negative things, to then try and bring people down. He probably gets all the profiles that he's got and hits the down arrow on several of the channels to bring their algorithms down again, and obviously boosts his up. All I can say is people like that, they're not worth pissing on if they're on fire. If you know who he is, feel free to block him if you want, or if you want to follow him. But at the same time, he doesn't bother me. He's got a neck like a pencil. I'd snap it in a heartbeat. He's not a threat to anyone. He's just a little keyboard warrior. Well, like, he couldn't fight sleep. So I'm not really that arsed about the loser, in that sense. So if anyone hasn't seen it, that's who he is. Peter, Luke, nice to have you on. Yanez is good, man. Yanez has got sick amount of potential, bro. UFC fanatic, what are you saying? Yanez versus Costa, exactly the reason why MMA is better than boxing. Boxing is dead with padding records. Prospects never fight each other. That is a very true statement. You will see that frequently in boxing. That's how they do boxing. That's how people get their 20 and 30 records, because they literally build these guys up with padded records. It's all about the dollar bills. Who the hell is a Prediction Guru and why we're talking about him? Thomas, honestly, he's a 50 plus active accounts and use it to push by paying servers and copycat. There's competition and psycho shit. It's imagine if he had a girlfriend. Jesus Christ. He made fake profiles, and comment on his own videos, mate. Honestly, Thomas, if you just literally put in there MMA Prediction Guru exposed or something like that, the video's there. It's 10-minute watch. Absolutely feel free to check it out, guys. Much more right down MMA Guru exposed, like 20k views. Yeah, it's bloody ridiculous. Guru's prediction straight up bad. Like, you're going to get that in whether it's MMA, football, soccer, like American football, sorry, or soccer, or British football, whichever way you want to word it, NFL, like hockey, baseball, rugby, any sport you get, any competition, boxing, whatever, you will get people out there who are going to do this. Shills, whatever you want to call them. Then you also get people out there who are as thick as two short planks, who don't do their own research and just go, he said it, he must tell the truth. Trust me, it's just exactly that. Let's get back to the fights. Exactly, Thomas. Well, we are. Alan versus Soriano, another really good prospect fight. That is a good one, and it's an interesting one for Alan to come back to. I am with you on that. But we're not going to talk about that one yet. That's the next one after this. So Ian Heinisch, bro, next, okay? So we're going to go Ian Heinisch fight against Nasruddin Imavov. Like, come on now, that's the best you're going to get out of me. So don't expect any more than that, okay? Imavov, that's what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen, with the names. So middleweight bout. It's a hard one, this, for Ian Heinisch to come back to, in my opinion. I think it's a rough one. Yanez fight, don't go to distance, parlay piece. Yeah, I think that'd be hard to go the distance. I think Yanez and Costa have got the finishability. It'd be difficult for them to go the full 3 rounds, because especially Yanez's hell of a powerful hand in the 3rd round as well as the first. He's going to be rough, and he starts getting those times. Ian Heinisch, like I say, he had a lost decision to Kelvin Gastelum, which kudos to him. Like, losing to Gastelum's not a bad one. He lost to Omari Akhmedov, who's now been cut from the UFC. He'll definitely go off because his manager is Ali Abdul, the terrorist Aziz. So he'll be going off to PFL because Ray Sefo and them two and Ali are bum chums. They do that to each other. So, and then you got Derek Brunson as well. So Derek Brunson lost. Now, if you look at those 3 losses, they are, they're not bad. They're top 15 dudes. They're all savages. He's fighting a guy who is, in his own right, performing well. He lost recently to Phil Hawes, which was all about that grappling. He really had a rough time with that grappling. He couldn't keep his opponent off him in Phil Hawes. And what's he getting? He's basically getting another version with Ian Heinisch. Ian Heinisch, as long as he can time his takedowns, as long as he can keep his conditioning going for the 3 rounds, Ian Heinisch actually has a good chance of winning this fight. Imavov, he's got, the Jordan Williams fight, he had a punching bag in front of him. Jordan Williams wasn't trying to get the takedown. Jordan Williams was really predictable, wasn't doing much of his hands, and was just there for the taking. Here, you want to have Ian Heinisch. He's aggressive. He's forward-facing. He's obviously throws with his hands, but he'll also try to grapple quite a lot of the time. And I think here, this is where we want to see Ian Heinisch get an opportunity to start getting the grappling game going. Imavov looked good against Phil Hawes in bleeding moments, but Phil Hawes was able to just snuff out any potential threat. The experience Ian Heinisch has had with Kelvin Gastelum, the Akhmedov, and Brunson, I'm kind of going on Ian Heinisch, even though he's lost 3 of his last 4. Ian Heinisch, I think, can get a wrestling side of things. You see the hole in the guy's game, you take advantage of it. One of the holes Imavov has got is the wrestling, and it's a Imavov. There we go. Dude, I'm shit with pronouncing names. As native Russian speaker, always have fun to hear you struggle on it. Mate, I admit I can't. Thankfully, I did have a speech impairment when I was a kid, and I can attest to having a shit way of pronouncing names. If it's Smith, Jones, I'm all good. But when you go to Imavov, see, I'm looking at that going, am I Imavov? And then you're saying Imavov. Or is that V-O-V, Volv? Yeah, Imavov. Yeah. I'd be crap, wouldn't I? Imagine me doing commentary on the Russian card, like UFC, no, not UFC, Fight Night Global. Imagine me doing Fight Night Global or M1 Challenge. I'd be like, here's Chris, or like CK's like speak. I'd give them new names. Honestly, I'd give them new names. Fuck that. So I'm going to Ian Heinisch on this one. I think he can actually pull this off, Ian Heinisch. I think even though he's had the couple of decision losses to the kind of big guys, I think it's a perfect opportunity for him to get back in that W column. So I'm going that way. But like I said before, we had it mentioned before, big fight in the middleweight division. we have got prospect kind of kicking off territory here. All right, so here we go. Had bad fight IQ. Has bad fight IQ. He does with the grappling side of things. It does. He seems to, certainly when it comes to wrestling. I'm not saying he can't improve that before now. There's nothing to say he can't go and spend a bit of time working on it. But we've got the guys in. Here we go. Soriano against Allen. There you go. I did it. Smashed it out the park. Soriano is, man, the dude has got fucking dynamite in those hands. Man, he cracks so hard. Like, to be fair, Oscar Piota is not, like, knocking him out. Do I find that as an achievement? Not really. Dusko Todorovic, another dude who kind of had his hands down, chin out, asking to be knocked out senseless. That was another opponent which I was a bit skeptical, but the dude's got to pound his hands in those first rounds, and you've got to be really careful. He seems to be able to time those punches when he starts finding your rhythm. He gets those counters out. He's very good at this. Prospect, a lot of talent. Let's see. I don't think it's an IQ thing. I think it shows like a wrestling for the Frenchman. Vive la France. They like to be on the back, the French. They like to go in reverse. Brandon Allen, that fight against Sean Strickland kind of exposed him a bit. Sean was showing that, the hands, if you can use your hands and get the footwork going, you can really cause a lot of problems to him. Brandon Allen is all about getting you to the ground and mauling you with the grappling aspect. Carl Robertson, same thing. When he fought Carl Robertson had the advantage at the start of the fight. Then all of a sudden it came, with the striking. Brendan was like, nah, I'm not here for that. I don't want any of them. Let's get to the mat. That's my cup of tea. Get you on the back. Let's go. Here we go. Huge step up for Punahele. Yeah. He is so dangerous. That first round, he can crack. It's a big test here. He hurt her Halls like 5 times, and Halls hugged him. Yeah, each time. He didn't even notice he hurt him. Yeah, not noticing it. And that's a combination as well of not only not noticing that you've hurt your opponent, but your corner must have seen it if you didn't, and your corner must be relaying that information on. If your corner is not saying he's hurt, that's a lack of skill set in your corner's fight IQ. There you go. Yeah, there we go, Thomas. Yeah. So, like I say, guys, with Formula One racing, the efficiency of the pit stop is what makes a big difference in a race. The efficiency of your corner in MMA can make the difference in a fight. If your corner team can notice when your opponent is hurt, notice maybe they're leaning a bit more on one leg than the other because of leg kicks, or what if there's holes in their games that they can see and make changes and adjustments in fights, that's when you have a great corner. If their corner isn't supporting you in that way, they can hold you back a bit because it's very hard in the moment in the fight to just analyze everything and get it in and sort it out. Horse good. Yeah, he's a very good wrestler. Yeah. Horse is a solid wrestler. He's built like a bloody tank. I'm a bit torn with this because I think to myself, Brandon Allen is no interest at all in standing up here with Puna at all. He's got no chance. He's going to be shooting for those takedowns straight away. Can Puna stop the takedown in the first round? What he wants to be doing is stopping the takedown in the first round, exchanging some strikes, and when he's exchanging the strikes, just don't do too many. Keep it heavy feet, be heavy on your feet, so when he shoots in, you can use your hips to break that takedown attempt. He wants to have his hands ready to get under, so he wants to be maybe coming in with a couple of body shots. He wants to throw some uppercuts maybe as well to Brandon Allen. This is where we get to see the fight IQ of Puna, who knows he's fighting a wrestler. Will we see him throw the certain strikes that wrestlers don't enjoy, so to speak? They don't want to see you throwing certain hands. Allen likes to engage in striking a lot for a grappler. That could be his downfall. He doesn't engage in striking. The reason why he engages in striking, Tom, is he literally wants you to overextend on your combinations. He wants you to overextend with striking because when you do that, you open yourself up more for the takedowns. You're easier to get down. You're not prepped for that takedown. If guys are only coming back with 1 or 2 punches, that's really difficult. What you want a guy to almost just go kind of Mike Perry-ish. Mike Perry just goes fucking balls deep for it, just start swinging. You want that kind of guy to do that because then you shoot under the strikes and the takedown's there because the guy's not ready for it, especially if they're coming at you aggressively. And one of the reasons why Brendan likes to go aggressive with the striker is it keeps him with the forward momentum. While you're going back on the back foot, he closes that cage down a bit, gets underneath and gets off he goes. I've been impressed with Puna so far. The opponents he's had, I think them not being overly crazy, but I think he must have been working on his takedown defense. That's all he's got to do in this fight. Hands are fine. They're there. Power's in his hand. He gets the second round. Brendan's going to be exposed. The sweat on their body's going to make the takedowns harder. Puna's got an opportunity to really start laying his hands on him. I'm going to go for the prospect kid here, Puna. I think he can maybe I think he could stop Alan maybe with the hands, because I've been a bit tentative on Alan after that Strickland fight. Kind of little flags popping up. Now, Sean Strickland, absolute savage, very good veteran of the sport, knew what he was doing, knew what he was getting into, so he knew everything to handle on that fight. So I'll go with Puna, but it's not my most confident pick on the card, but I'm looking forward to the fight itself. Next up, we have in the welterweight division, a fight that it's happening. Mickey Gall is back again. He's fighting Jordan Williams, who is actually going to try and drop down to 170. The guy's, I believe he's type 1 diabetic, so from what I heard, that's the reason why he couldn't cut down at 170. True that this is Charles Oliveira's strategy. Yeah, they both have submission grab about the wrestling. So they go super aggressive in the stand-up. Here we go. Puna can KO a ball in the first round, but I think he can't KO even a hamster in the third. Bro, we will certainly find out, but that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Puna can experience in the ring, it's energy efficient, when you're using your energy, when to throw the power shots. And that comes sometimes with time. A lot of guys go in balls deep straight away. In the third round, they haven't got that pop. But a bit of time and experience, you start to learn when to put the power in the shots. And sometimes you learn to get the feelers. So when you pop out the jab, that's your rangefinder. When you're popping out the power right, you might find that they're blocking the power right. So then you've got to realize, right, I can't throw it now. But what I can do is I can go jab, fake right, hands come down, power right. Or you can just touch them 1-2. They're going to movement they're going to do with the hands. You can do touch, solar plexus. You can do a ton of things with your hands and not have to throw power. Diaz is a great example. Diaz boys don't throw power all the time. 20 seconds, whatever it was, from the end, Leon Edwards, he ends up knocking his crap out of him with one punch. They just pick the moment. So sometimes like that, you might find it. Like I said, Mickey Gall lost to Mike Perry. Mickey Gall's striking just isn't very good. I thought Jordan Williams wasn't overly impressive. I know the Contender Series he did, but like we just said before, was just a bit of a punching bag. I wasn't overly impressed. I'm curious. I just don't know what we're going to see. He's got to cut down to 170. He's diabetic, type 1 diabetic. I wonder what he's going to look like at that weight class. He's done it before in the past. Years ago, back in like 2016, he fought down at 170. So, man, maybe he's just doing a lot more cardio, maybe just to get his weight down. I don't know. For me, I actually think Mickey Gall, mate, I know he's not UFC level. I know he isn't, but he could actually win this fight because Jordan Williams, to me, I just don't get it. I'm just not seeing it. I know he got the win in Dana White Contender Series against Gregory Rodriguez, but to be pretty honest, doesn't mean that you're a good UFC fighter. Williams got back to 170 something. He had issues. He is 3-2 on 170. Only one fight. That's round one. Yeah, bro, it's hard, isn't it? Because I think Mickey Gall, he can get takedowns. He's got the grappling side of things. Yeah, Gall lost to Sanchez in 2019. It's apparently in 2020. What we're talking about. Yeah, but Jordan Williams isn't any great, mate. It's the rough thing about it. Williams, here we go. Undersized at middleweight. Yeah, he didn't. He weighed in at like 183. So he just wasn't cutting any weight. But then again, you got to remember when Jordan is cutting down to 170, he seems to be walking around at kind of like 180. Mickey's cutting down to 170. I think Mickey's probably walking around about 185, 190. That's kind of welterweight kind of walk around. So there'll be similar weights. Mickey Gall's striking isn't anything much to write back about. So Jordan can get away with the striking aspect. I just want to see if he can defend the takedowns. I think that's the biggest question. Will he be able to defend the takedowns? And if he does, can he stop Mickey getting on his back? Because that's all Mickey's going to do is trying to get a submission win. I can't see Mickey trying to do a striking fight. He's not overly impressive with his hands, but he definitely likes to try and go for those rear naked chokes, even though he's got the almighty Mike Jackson and CM Punk and Sage Northcutt under his belt. But and the great and powerful George Sullivan. But it's like I can't believe I'm going to actually might pick. I'm going to pick Mickey Gall. I almost want to vomit in my mouth saying that out loud, but I don't know. After seeing Jordan get lit up like a Christmas tree and show no change in his game plan, I was just disturbed to watch that happen in front of me. It was alarm bell. I think if you're not going to move, not even once, you deserve to get punched in the face like that. Yeah, man, I was not impressed. I can't believe I'm picking Mickey Gall. Oh. If the weight cut will affect him, yeah, Gall will make him gas. Yeah, we're grappling. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the only way Gall wins grappling here. Even Mike Perry and Diego Sanchez have grappled him. They did. They're veterans. I say veterans. What's his face is Mike Perry's very strong dude. So that's probably one of the things. But with Diego Sanchez, he's obviously been around the block for a long time. So when it comes to grappling, he's actually not adverse to it. But yeah, Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall for the win. Next up, we have, thankfully moving on from that, we have in the 125 division is Maycee Barber against Miranda Maverick. This one is a good one because you're going to see a girl in Maycee Barber who needs to get back in a win column. She came out splash, big impressions. Not saying Gall win, but just betting wise, -200, too many questions. -200. Heck that. Maycee Barber came out the block. She got the win on obviously Dana White Contender Series. That's great. Then she beat Hannah Cyphers. Then she beat JJ Aldrich, which I thought was a good win. And then she beat Jillian Robertson. All three of them using striking, power, ground and pound. Then all of a sudden she came up against a veteran of the game, Roxanne Modafferi, blew her ACL or MCL, one of them two, popped a knee, and then she was out for a year. Came back against Alexa Grasso, who's really just a different kind of fighter. Alexa Grasso isn't like a step down. I thought someone like a Cyphers, Aldrich, or Robertson would have been a better one to get her against. I thought Alexa Grasso was a little bit high up for her. Just outworked, outclassed, lit up. She's face was busted. She didn't do too much in there. She wasn't amazing to me. Miranda, via wrestling and grappling advantage, she is the real future, not Macy. Now, for me, Miranda Maverick, if you've not seen, I watched her on Invicta. I've mentioned it before in the past. But he got finished in them. Something don't happen at 150. 185 for Jordan. Here we go. He was also 23 and 25 years old at the time, and he's now 30 years old. Yeah. Time makes difference. No, I agree. Age makes a difference with that, bro. All those years of difference, like years of experience. You've got to think drilling, technical levels you do at MMA classes. A year can make a big difference. So 3 or 4 or 5 years, you can wrestlers can and fighters can develop hugely. Just watch the weigh-in before betting. That's my opinion. Mickey Gall sucks. He does suck balls, mate. But he's in the UFC. He's got UFC stuff. There's guys out there who would absolutely murk him. I think Ian Gary, who's just been signed to the UFC, would be a great kind of Mickey Gall, be a great introduction for him to the UFC. I think it'd absolutely batter him. CM Punk is not walking through that door. Hey, CM Punk got that fight reversed. I'm just saying. So he's only 1-1 now. He's not 0-2. Maycee Barber for me. I think she's going to get absolutely grapple fested by Miranda Maverick as well. The girl's strong. Miranda Maverick's got a heavy top game. She was able to stop the grappling submission attempts from Jillian Robertson. She just shows if you looked at what she did in Invicta, she lost to Deanna Bennett. I mentioned it again. She came back and got the win against her. She stopped at Pearl Gonzalez as well. She got a victory back then. She also, the Invicta Phoenix series, she got great victories there. She's shown a toughness and a tenacity. I think Maycee Barber's going to come out the blocks hard and fast. And Miranda's going to get the grappling going. And then she's going to find that she can't get her off her. She can't get through this fight without this. If Roxanne can grapple for Maycee Maverick, then be able to. There is no doubt in my mind Miranda's going to get the takedowns. She'll be heavy on top. I think it's a solid one there. I think Miranda Maverick's going to get a great win against someone like Maycee Barber. I think Macy needs to fight like I don't know if she's still in the UFC actually, but she needs to fight at a low level, like Angela Hill, Maycee Barber, someone like that. Randa Marcos, someone like that would be a kind of better one for Macy, but that's the way I'm going. Now, we have got ourselves one of the toughest son of bitches around. Coming up next at the 145 division, Mr. Darren Elkins taking on Darrick Minor. If you don't like Mr. Darren Elkins, there's something wrong with you. He just comes in and is just pure violence. You know, I've got nothing against him. He actually came back with a submission win against Gary Glory, which, let's be brutally honest, if he didn't get that win after 4 losses, he was getting cut. It was literally like the last guy they can give him. That, like, look, if you can't beat this guy, you don't get in the UFC. And he pulled it off in the 3rd, thankfully. Still taking a ton of damage. For me, Darrick Minor, I was super blown away by how he just dominated Charles Rosa. I honest to God, I could not. I thought Charles Rosa with his grappling, feck off flies. I thought Charles Rosa with his grappling, it would have been a lot more impressive. I thought he would have been able to hold off Darrick, and then come the 2nd, 3rd round, you strike and get the range difference, get the striking applied, and start really stretching out that lead on the points. But man, Darrick just showed cardio, which was weird to see. I didn't expect him to have cardio, and just a dominance on the top, and being able to consistently keep it. Multiple submission attempts as well. I'm going to dry my mouth, wet my mouth here because I'm spitting feathers. Oh, lovely. So let's see here. What we got here, guys? Just imagine being Macy from Everybody's Darling and Champ promised to free fight losing streak. Is a problem. He is training with Mr. Cruz yet. James Krause. He's training those boys. Macy Barber, Sean O'Malley. They should start dating each other. No, hype train Macy. It was rough. I've stopped getting on to any hype trains these days. You know, Macy reminded me of Paige Van Zandt. Super hype, shot up to the stars, and then they just pit her away. It's too often the UFC do it. They cash cow, they milk what they can with the fight, and then they kind of just drop them, let them go. But back to this, Darrick is just going to want to grapple. Darren Elkins is happy with that, I suppose, because striking-wise, you're not going to beat him. Grappling-wise, Darren's actually kind of happy to be on his back a bit. Man, like, Darren's a tough dude, but he's 37. He's been in the UFC for a long time. Like, man, do I see him beating Darrick Minor? Same reach. He's a bit taller, and that's about it for this. Like, I actually think you might see Darren Elkins lose here and then get cut by the UFC. The dude's, don't get me wrong, he had a good win streak, but 145. You know, the Volkanovski lost, then he lost to Ramos, Hall, and Nate Landavia. I think he might lose this one to Darrick, man. I think Darrick's just going to grapple it, get on top, heavy top control, submission attempts. Yeah, I'm going to go Darrick Minor here. I'm not even hard to pick Elkins, bro. It is hard to pick Elkins in this situation. I've just not seen much from him these days where I get excited and confident he's going to get the win. I get excited because I think we're probably going to see a bloodbath. He's got so much scar tissue. He opens up pretty fast. He gets the blood going. I think we might see maybe a submission win or a decision for Darrick Minor. And that's about it, really, for that one. Interesting one coming up next in the 135 division, which I had to double check it as well, which is Kyler Phillips against Raulian Paiva. I didn't know Paiva was jumping up to 135. I thought he looked great at 125. I thought 125 was the best weight class for him. I don't know what instigated the jump up to the 135. I know he got hospitalized because of the weight cut issue that he had against David Dovak. I don't know if maybe the UFC have told him that he has to do one at 135. And then after that, they'll let him attempt a 125 fight because obviously they don't want to fight the full through. So maybe they've told him he has to have this. But giving him Kyler Phillips is a rough, bloody one to get. Man, Kyler Phillips, that dude is a slick son of a bitch on the feet. Good hands. grappling aspect side of him as well. You know, the nasty kind of ground and pound, absolutely mullered Cameron Else into the ground, mushed. Yadong Song, he did fantastic in that fight. You know, his striking was clean. Good fight again. Oh man, I don't understand. It's like Kyler should win by decision. Yeah, decision win. I can get behind a decision. It'd be interesting to see how Paiva looks at 135. He might feel a bit fresh. He might be able to feel he can take a bit, but it's going to be hard beat. Yeah, I like Kyler Phillips a lot. Yeah, he's probably my strongest bet in this one. If I was going to put any money on it, it'd be Kyler Phillips. Definitely going to win. Yeah, Sandhagen plus 104 odds. That's solid. That's solid odds there. I like that. For plus money on that, it's good. Like he was meant to get Rafael Assunção for Kyler Phillips, which would have been a great one for him to get, especially the kind of a named opponent like that. Rafael Assunção is just, he's fought the who's who in that bantamweight division. So, that these things happen. But Paiva, I think Paiva's going to be decent on the feet, but I think Phillips will just outmuscle him, outstrength, just outsize him. I think he's got this all day long. So I can't really see much past that fight, really. I think Paiva hopefully drops down to 125, does a little bit of work there, because I thought he looked better. It looked like he was getting his groove. It looked like he was finding his place at 125. And it looked a bad motherfucker to fight. So I was big up on that one on Paiva 125. So I hope to see him back down there. I just don't think 135 will suit him. And now watch this. He'll go and knock out Kyler Phillips probably. I'll just look like a right knob. Next up we have is the co-main event. In the 135 division, Aspen lad. The girl who loves the mountain walks against Macy Chiasson now, or Chiasson. Again, another fight I was a little bit torn out with. How does he win the fight? He could catch him with punches and strikes, If Paiva's going to win, he could win with strikes. There's nothing to say a punch can't land by Paiva. He's got good hands. He has got good power, so he could win with that. At 135, I don't think so. Split decision. Aspen lad, she got that questionable loss to Jermaine Durandame, which was going to lead her to a title fight potentially. Then she came back against Yana Kunitskaya. Fantastic win for her. Really dominant. Got the stoppage, and then we've not seen her. She's been out. Obviously, fights have fell through. Now that's no one's fault. Aspen lad ended up tearing her ACL and MCL, which was it last year, something like that. So again, she's only been like 12, 13 months back. So it's going to be interesting to see how she comes back with it and an injury like that. It's a rough one. Fade both Macy's. Now, Macy is a tough one to look at because if you look at her hands, the girl can crack. Lena Landsberg dominated her. Absolutely owned her. Lena Landsberg, who's not been the best performer in the UFC, dominated with grappling. Then she come back, beat Shayna Young, and then she beat Renee. But for me, I kind of feel like there's a stop part here. Macy's kind of flow or hype kind of disappeared a little bit in that fight. She showed some vulnerabilities, little red flags, like I say, popping up on her. Lad after surgeries and long layoff. They're not sure how much this line is right. That's the thing. Lad has not fought since 2019, December 2019. So let's say a year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half. Year and a half she's not fought since the fight against Kunitskaya. One thing Lad has got, she did usually have good movement. She did have good hands. She can grapple as well. She can get fights to the ground. A fight like Macy, you want to get Macy up against the cage. You want to grapple her. You want to fight her dirt. You want to fight not... you don't want to fight close combat with it. You want to fight dirt. You want to fight like on the top of her with ground and pound. You want to kind of get against the cage, dirty box. You don't want to fight on her terms, which is she's got a good reach, hasn't she, Macy, off the top of my head? Hasn't she got a wicked little reach? 72-inch reach. So that's a good reach of that for that weight class. Yeah, and Lad's on a 66. Macy's want to keep you on the end of those punches. She wants to just tip you, tap, a roo, and then knock you flat out. ACL on something more than me, like maybe meniscus as well. Lad can grapple. Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for in this fight. I think you see that Macy's got that hole in the game. If I'm Aspen lad, I know other fights I can go. Interesting fight though. Another prospect. Oh my god, I got PTSD attack when you imagine Lance versus. Did you bet? No way. Do you know what? I was going to bet on Macy as well. I won't lie, brother. I was going to bet on Macy, and I actually let it be because I thought, I think I bet on I can't remember what other fights were on that card, but I thought Macy's got this. She'll absolutely slaughter her. And I'm so happy I didn't bet money. I think Will lost money on it though. Mate, some fighters lose your money big time. When you get those little red flags in your head that always kind of stick forever and a day in your head, you think, I'm not going fucking near that betting line. We'll see. We're going to see now. What I'm going to talk about is Aspen Ladd has got the wrestling side of things. She's got the grappling. You get Macy against the cage. She doesn't like it. She can't use the powerful hands. You get her on her back. Again, she doesn't like it. Me, Aspen Ladd, if I'm not going to bother using my footwork in this fight. I'm going to grapple fest it, get the fight to the ground if I can, and we'll see what we can do. Here we go. We're all sharing a lot of pain here with these bad bets. I'll bet Gus too. And then Gus is coming back again. I don't get this. Yeah. Oh, and he absolutely messed up Anthony Smith in the first round, and just, I don't know if I could trust that Alexander Gus again. It's weird. But I want to go with Aspen Ladd. I think the wrestling side of things, you can get it back in there. I'd wrestle because it's a safe bet. Get her off the ground, not using my footwork too much. See how the knees hold up. If you're Macy, leg kick the shit out of her. There's no guarantee of that. So, yeah, I'm going this. I want to go that way, but I'm not crazy confident in that one. We've got the main event now, which in itself is like I said before, it's a sick fight. TJ Dillashaw is returning after his little naughty stint with the EPO and whatever else he was taken when he lost to Henry Cejudo back in January 2019. So he's been out for a long time, 2.5 years stint out. Now he was meant to come back and fight Corey a couple months ago, but TJ got a cut in training, didn't he? Like cut eyebrows, something like that. So sadly that fell through. But like I said, Corey Sandhagen, dude has been on a tear since his loss to Aljamain Sterling as well, man. I'm taking Ladd, yeah. Probably put a bet on it too. Nice NBC. Good to see you here, brother, too. But then I bet Vidu versus Gus when he was like plus 250 for some reason. Fucking hell. Yeah, there is some good matchups. And betting side, I'll be talking about the odds in a moment after this quick little breakdown of the main event. Corey Sandhagen, the bloody hell. Flying here against Frankie Edgar. Wheel kick against Moraes. The dude just did finish. And then he's also got in his back pocket, he's got submissions. He's got a wicked body block because of his length and his height. Everything about that is dangerous. He can use his hands. Aljamain Sterling just wrestled him, schooled him in the wrestling side of things. I'd love to see Corey and Aljamain fight again sometime. I don't know if Corey's going to be... like, to me, this is obviously a title fight. Whoever wins this gets the title. I'm taking Sandhagen. I'm going to love every moment of it. A little bit staying towards TJ Dillashaw by any chance. Corey inside the distance. TJ lay off. I'm 35 years old. His timing will be off. And Corey is a sniper. Corey is a sniper. And that is the thing. TJ's 2.5 years off. He was 32 and a half. He was hitting that prime and everything. He was flying. The Cody fights were incredible. The Lineker fight. The Rafael Assunção fight. Now, the Corey fight, Cody Garbrandt did get caught. Don't get me wrong; he did get clipped in the first one where he almost lost at the end of the first. But he's got that openness there to him. But is he going to be as smooth as he did? He's going to have. Corey's got 2-inch reach advantage, and he's about 5 inches taller. So Corey's going to often have a bit of an advantage in the height and size game. What are we going to see with TJ? What can he bring to the table? Is he going to wrestle more? Because we saw that there's a hole a little bit in Corey's game, maybe the wrestling and getting on top of him. Are we going to see TJ try and strike with him? If we do, it's going to be incredible. Watch the footwork of TJ. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate what TJ can do. I appreciate what he can show in the cage. I'd like to see a bit of a 3-rounder here, 5-rounder back and forth. But I kind of got to go on the guy who's on a tear, the guy who's got a bit more in his arsenal with the power and the pop that he has, this flying knee, the spinning wheel kicks, the rear naked chokes, the arm bars, the ground and pounds, everything. You put it all there on the table, he offers a lot. He's only just fought a few months back. 5 months ago against Frankie. Corey is on a tear. Corey's looking phenomenal. 2.5 years out. TJ, 35 years old, like we said before. Big difference. Time and rustiness, it can play a factor. I'm sure TJ is going to look phenomenal on a scale, but I've got to go Corey here, man. I feel he can get this W. I'm going Corey Sandhagen today now. Don't get me wrong. TJ could put a schooling on Sandhagen, and that's just a fight game. But I'm going on with Corey. I think he's got this. Title shot will be next for him. He'll fight the winner of Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. Which probably Peter Yan, because I always forget that Aljamain Sterling's a UFC champ. I think everyone else does too. Corey has been thrown to finish. He talked about having a new mentality toward fighting after the Aljo loss. TJ probably tries striking with him, yeah, and I bet he's slow getting back in the groove. Yeah, he's going to be open for striking. He's going to be open for shots, and also without the little extra help from TJ. He's going to be open. He's definitely going to be open for the counters and striking. His timing will be off a little bit. Corey's going to catch him with some strikes definitely in this fight, and I think it'll really put him off his rhythm, and confidence will be a factor. Let's go to the betting side of things. We've got here, let's jump into this. We've got here Diana against Hannah Goldy. So Goldy's minus 150. Diana's a plus 100. I like Diana there. She's an underdog. I definitely like her in that one. Sijara Eubanks, heavy favorite against Reed, and it's rightfully so. She's like a minus 250, 300. Reed is she's a plus 250. I wouldn't even touch it with that. It's just, unless you can do prop bet, but there's no point in going for a plus 250. How are there no betting odds available for Ian Heinisch? What on earth? How the heck? There must be betting odds. Give me a second. I'm not having that. Get the fuck out of here. Let's go to here. There must be betting odds for that fight. Who has not got betting odds for that fight? You're having a laugh, aren't you? 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get these fight odds. Yeah, I don't want to. Here we go. We're going to go with. Where is it? Yeah, view all matches. Yes, thank you very much. What we got here? I'm just going through the fight card. Here we go. Heinisch is more odds. Thank you very much. There we go. Here we go. So sorry about the wait there, guys. I'm just getting some fight odds because for some reason they were saying no fight odds there, so that's just crazy. It's minus 110 for both sides, is it, bro? Here we go. Yep. My bad. I don't think he got dropped in the second fight. In the first fight he did though. Yeah. He dropped in the end of the first round, wasn't it? Yeah, it was on the end of the first, and lucky enough the kind of bell rang, he was able to carry on with it. Yeah. So which fight was it going with there? Oh, Andre Ewell and Julio Arce is another one I need to fight odds for. Sorry about this, guys and girls. I thought the odds would have been there for all the fights, but for some reason they're not. Oh, that's beautiful. I see. That's what I want. Here we go. Julio Arce is, so you got Andre Ewell. He's plus 155. Julio Arce minus 200. I think Arce is a safe bet there. I think he can get a finish. I think he's walking out. He's walking away with that one easily. Next up we have is Costa Yanez. Costa and Yanez, there we go. Costa is plus 150. Yanez is minus 200. Big gap there. Bloody hell, but... then we've got Heinisch, he's a minus 150. Imavov, minus plus 120. So, Heinisch, I think it's a good sort of bet on that one. Honestly, I really do. I think his wrestling will pull through. Allen against Puna, both minus 110, which a pick and fight, I'd go with Puna just for the KO finish. Maybe I'd go for like a prop bet on that one. We were meant to have Chris Dacus against Shamil Abdulmadirov, by the way, but that fight must have fell through. And Mickey Gall is a plus. Mickey Gall's actually an underdog plus 150, and Williams is a favorite at minus 200. What the flying fucking world's going on there? I think I did not watch Jordan get absolutely beat to a pulp. I think Jan needs to order the belt from the UFC store. Act like Aljo fight never happened. He'll have one. They'll have given one. They need to book that ring. Oh, mate, absolutely gripes me that fight has not been rematched already. And it's just the dumbest thing ever. He was getting absolutely murdered in that fight, and he will get murdered again, I think, Aljo, in the second fight. I don't think there's much more we can do to change that fight, if that makes sense. So, don't know how they get that. Aaron Phillips is a plus 200. No, here we go. So, Elkins minor. Minor is minus 150. Elkins is plus 150. That sounds about right. There's a couple of... You could do a couple of parlays here to get plus money because they're not heavy, some of them, like Kyler Phillips and Paiva. Kyler Phillips, yeah, plus 260, plus 270. Paiva, minus 260, sorry. Paiva again, plus 250. Yeah, let's see, a lad, what is lad here? Minus 190. Chiasson, she is plus 150. Yeah, this has got a lot of parlays written all over it. Barber plus 100, plus 120, a couple of different random sites, and then Miranda Maverick. I think she's straight bet minus 130 to 150. You can do Maverick and Lad together, but Corey Sandhagen minus 190. That's a good straight bet against TJ. He's a plus 155 as well. I see this a parlay card, man. Dude, it does suck, but he could actually beat Jordan Williams because Jordan Williams sucks. If you watch that fight, he looked awful. Parlay legs, man. It's got parlays written all over it. It's Phillips free money. Mate, no one's free money in this world, brother. No one is free money. There's too many fights that have stung me in the past. Kyler Phillips free money. Yeah, but I'd say Joseph. Thanks for the comment, bro. I think so. I think Phillips should get. He should handily win that. I'd even go for. I'd maybe even do a combo myself for a on point or KO. I think you can maybe stop him on the feet or get a points decision. Yanez, yeah, fighting not to go the distance. Yes. Paiva, final. Yes, that's fine. Yeah, because the pair of them want either Alan Puna could. Okay, Kyler, yeah. Okay. My one with Puna and Allen, I'd say the fight doesn't go to distance because you'll either get Allen getting the takedowns and getting the submission, or you get Puna getting the stoppers on the feet, so you get one of the two. But look, I'd love to know all your bets, people. I'd love to know who you're going for, who you think are going to win. Please let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you're AMC or GME invested, diamond hands, we got this. The shorts haven't covered. That's all that matters. That's all the DD that we care about in the world. Paiva stepping. Yeah, he's stepping up in weight. Yeah, doesn't affect his flyweight rankings. Yeah, he's there for the paycheck. Plus, he missed weight. He botched his weight, Joseph, last time. So he maybe has to fight this one up one before he can go back down one. Kind of number one pick of the cards. Yeah, he should be Thomas. I think he should get his money. Puna finish him early, or Puna gasses shouldn't get subbed. Yeah, it's exactly what it is, brother. But like ladies and gentlemen, take care of each other, love each other, have fun, enjoy the fights. I'll see you all soon.